Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin, salatu salam ala Sayyidina Muhammad Nabi Ummi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Please fill the gaps so our brothers will come from outside. افسحوا في المجلس الله يجزاكم الخير. تقاربوا الله يجزاكم الخير حتى يدخل اخواننا من الخارج ان شاء الله. After praising Allah and thanking Him, the Shaykh has reminded us that we have started the month of Safar, which is the second month in the Hijri year. And the first thing the Shaykh has indicated to us is why is it called Safar? And he mentioned three reasons. The first one, because Mecca is usually empty from the people who came for pilgrimage. That's one reason. And the other one, because the Arabs in the time of ignorance, the time of Jahiliyyah, they used to wait for the end of Muharram, which is the first month of the Hijri year, so they could go and fight and rob people and steal from them. Because they've been spending like 3 months without doing any work, according to their belief. And the third reason also because the Arabs, at the time of ignorance of Jahiliyyah, they used to manipulate the months, the sacred month of Allah Azza wa Jal. So they could not bear to have 3 months continuous without robbing people, without going to war, without revenge. So they used to change the secrecy of Muharram to Safar, so they could attack people in Muharram and not do it in Safar. And this is what Allah Azza wa Jal mentioned in the Quran as An-Nasi. So there is two things that are always connected with this month of Safar. Two things that Allah Azza wa Jal forbids, which is An-Nasi, which is to change the secrecy of the month to a different one. And the second one called At-Tatayyur, which is to feel pessimistic about this month. There is a hadith that is not authenticated, is not true about the Prophet ﷺ, about this month. But the Arabs used to think that this is the worst month for them. All bad things will happen in this month. And they feel pessimistic. They try not to do any commerce, no marriage, nothing. Because they always feel this is the pessimistic month. So, and the Shaykh has reminded us that all days and weeks and months and years, all these days are nothing but empty containers. You fill them up with your good deeds or your sins. It's up to you. What do you want every day? That file that Allah has given you, that folder that you see every new day, that you take for granted, that a routine, what do you want to fill it with? It's just going to bear witness what you did in this day. And then at the day of judgment, you will see the reflection of that. So he's reminded us that these days are nothing but what we fill them. So don't feel pessimistic. If you did some obedience to Allah, you should feel happy. You should feel optimistic. And if you did a sin, then you need to watch out. Allah Azza wa Jal said in the Hadith Qudsi that the son of Adam is hurting me. He's always cussing the time, the time, and I am the time, meaning that Allah is the one who created time. Allah is the one who, by Himself, is the one who gave this time. And is Allah only the one who provides with goodness or evil or harm that could come to you. And remember the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ that if every creation has gathered up trying to hurt you with something, they cannot hurt you except with what Allah Azza wa Jal has already written upon you. And if they all try to benefit you with a small thing, they cannot all of them, even if they come combine to try to benefit you of anything except with the permission of Allah. And Allah Azza wa Jal had decreed everything before He created anything by 50,000 years. So we will not be happy about what we gain, and we should not be saddened about what we missed. The Prophet ﷺ, in so many hadith, he avoided this pessimistic feeling about this month of Safar. And there's a hadith, he mentioned 4 things not to do. The first one, nu'adwa, which is the transfer of disease from a sick person to someone who is healthy. And la tayr, meaning do not be pessimistic. And especially in the old time, they used to feel pessimistic about the messengers of Allah, as it is in Surah Yasin. And also Nohamma, which is don't feel pessimistic whenever you see an owl. Because the Arabs used to think if they heard the noise of the owl, that means it's telling them that they are about to die, or someone close to them about to die, or maybe some soul from previous death, they are trying to connect with them. So they always feel pessimistic with the voice or whenever they see an owl. And La Safar, of course, is not to feel pessimistic in this month of Safar. And about the first one, there is no transfer of disease from the sick person to the healthy, meaning it's not going to, and we're talking about the effect of it. Yes, the diseases do transfer from a sick person to a healthy person, but it comes only with the power of Allah, with His permission. And there's a hadith about the companions asking the Prophet ﷺ about having camels that are very healthy, and then one with a skin disease will come in between them, and then all of them, they become like him. And he is reminding them that who was the source, who was the first one who became with that sickness. And how many among us, to understand this point, will have a sick person in here, but we're not going to get that disease. Why? Because it's Allah Azza wa Jal who controls it. So we always have to remember that everything is in the hand of Allah. We have to go back to Allah Azza wa Jal. All goodness comes from Allah Azza wa Jal. And as far as no tatayyur, because this could really lead to have partners with Allah. When you believe that something is going to happen because of certain action, and you have that feeling in you that you have committed shirk because you have put someone else as a source of goodness or evil or beside Allah Azza wa Jal. And the Arabs used to throw a stone at any bird that they see. If that bird went to the right, they feel good, and they will do whatever they're about to do. And if that bird went to the left, they will feel pessimistic. Well, this has nothing to do with good or bad. So don't have that feeling. Don't do this. And this is something that he, alayhi salatu wasalam, has forbidden us from doing, because it will lead us to shirk, to have partners with Allah Azza wa Jal. And of course, we have discussed the owl and also the ones, remember that among the 70,000 Muslims who will enter paradise with the Prophet ﷺ, with no accountability, they don't do any tatayyur, meaning they don't do anything of the thing that can tell them if this thing can be good or bad, which is like throwing a rock at a bird if it goes to the right or left and so on. There are so different forms of doing it beside the birds. So if you want to be among those 70,000, don't have that pessimistic feeling. And the Arabs before Islam, in the month of Safar, they will do absolutely no commerce and no social work whatsoever, like from marriage and so on, because they used to feel very pessimistic about this month. And whenever it's over, they start celebrating. They start doing all their actions. And this is the wrong feeling that we need, we need to understand why it is forbidden. But again, the Sheikh wants to emphasize one important issue in here. When we're remembering the month of Safar and how people looked at the month of Safar and how they viewed it as a month of being pessimistic, we need to remember that all the days that Allah Azza wa Jalla has created are nothing but empty containers, open folders. You fill them with the obedience of Allah or sinning against Allah. You want to feel good? Then fill them with the obedience of Allah. Make sure that they are full of the obedience of Allah. And What a coincidence that today is the 4th of October and also at the same time it's the 4th of Safar. When we know, we need to know our Hijri month and continue with them. Because if we go to recite the Quran, if it is the first day of the month, then maybe if we read one part of the Quran, by the end of the month, we know we should finish it. If we get confused, which part did I read or was not? Well, if you know the day of the month, like the 4th, then you know that you should be reading the 4th part of the Quran and so on and so forth until you finish the Quran. If you make this as a habit every month of the Hijri year, then you will know all the Islamic calendar. And remember, it is the lunar year, the one that depends on the moon, that is important in Islam, because these are the months that Allah Azza wa Jal use, and 4 of them are sacred, as he mentioned the Quran. Beside the Quran, reciting the Quran, remember, if you are doing it also, you will remember on the 13th, 14th, and 15th of that every month that it is the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ to fast in those days. And then you have resurrected, or it gives you an indication, an energy to do something that is the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. In short, take advantage of those days. Never feel pessimistic, be optimistic. You could be optimistic if you obey Allah Azza wa Jal. May Allah make us among those that He accept their deeds and forgive their sins.
الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة للمتقين ولا عدوان إلا على الظالمين. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. ثم أما بعد، فقبل الشروع في الدعاء كالمعتاد فقط أود أن أشير إلى أن نفي العدوى نفي التأثير التلقائي للعدوى، لكن العدوى موجودة، والدليل على هذا لا يورد ممرض على مصح. فالإسلام عرف الحجر الصحي وقت مبكر جدا، حتى قال لنا: إذا سمعتم بالطاعون في أرض فلا تدخلوها، فلا تذهبوا إليها، وإن وقعوا أنتم فيها فلا تخرجوا منها، وقال لنا: وفر من المجذوم فرارك من الأسد. فالحديث لا ينفي انتقال العدوى والمرض من المريض إلى الصحيح، إنما ينفي اعتقاد التأثير التلقائي للعدوى بعيدا عن مشيئة الله وأقداره. العدوى ليست أمرا محتوما، قد تحدث وقد لا تحدث، لكن الله تعبدنا باتخاذ الأسباب التي تحول دون العدوى، فقال لنا: وفر من المجذوم فرارك من الأسد، وقال لنا: لا يورد ممرض على مصح. فالقصد تجريد التوحيد لله عز وجل، وأن تعتقد أن ما يقع في الكون من أسباب عادية، لو شاء الله لأوقف سببيتها، كما قال للنار عندما ألقي فيها خليله وحبيبه: يا نار كوني بردا وسلاما على إبراهيم. اللهم اهدنا فيمن هديت، وعافنا فيمن عافيت، وتولنا فيمن توليت، وبارك لنا فيما أعطيت. اللهم احملنا في أحمد الأمور عندك وأجملها عاقبة. اللهم اشف مرضى المسلمين عامة ومرضانا في هذا المسجد خاصة. اللهم امسح عليهم بيمينك الشافية، واجمع لهم ولذويهم بين الأجر والعافية. اللهم انصر المستضعفين من المسلمين في المشارق والمغارب. اللهم عليك بأعدائك وأعدائهم فإنهم لا يعجزونك. اللهم أرنا فيهم عجائب قدرتك، إنك نعم المولى ونعم النصير. اللهم اغفر للمسلمين والمسلمات والمؤمنين والمؤمنات الأحياء منهم والأموات، إنك يا مولانا سميع قريب مجيب الدعوات. آمين آمين. والله يقول الحق وهو يهدي السبيل، وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين. قوموا إلى صلاتكم يرحمكم الله. تقاربوا تضاموا، أفسحوا لإخوانكم في الخارج. تقاربوا تضاموا، أفسحوا لإخوانكم في الخارج. تقاربوا تضاموا، أفسحوا لإخوانكم في الخارج. أفسحوا لإخوانكم في الخارج. أتموا الصفوف الأول فالأول، أتموا الصف الأول فالأول. أفسحوا لإخوانكم. إخواني في الخارج تقدموا في المسجد أماكن تستوعبكم بإذن الله. وأنا في الداخل تضاموا، وأنا في الخارج تقاربوا وأتموا الصفوف، الأول فالأول. بارك الله فيكم.
الله أكبر الله